Back in the 2000s, social interactions were at its peak. People were lively and full of energy, walking on the streets happily socializing. But by the early 2010s, rates of depression and anxiety in young teens and adults skyrocketed. Suicide was up 50% from previous decades, and since then, things have only gotten worse. Social media has drastically changed the way we communicate with one another. Communicating through speech bubbles and screens, without face-to-face interactions, removes the human connection that we once had. In January 1991, the World Wide Web became publicly available, sparking new ideas and ways to connect. As technology advanced throughout the years, smartphones were created, along with social media. At first, it seemed like a good thing, being able to connect with others online. But from 2009 to 2012, social media started to change for the worse. Jonathan Haidt, an American psychologist, argues, in 2009, Facebook added the like button, Twitter added the retweet button, and over the next few years, users' feeds became algorithmatized based on engagement. By 2012, the major platforms had created an outrage machine that made life online far uglier, faster, more polarized, and more likely to incite performative shaming. Platforms were now designed for maximum engagement, outrage, and attention.
And almost like someone turned a switch in 2013, girls in America and many other countries suddenly become very anxious, depressed, and self-harming.
And with this downward progression of the internet came the pandemic. The world got shut down, locking us in our homes and forcing us to communicate online. This only heightened the effects of the internet on society. Reddit users saying, "COVID shot my social skills in the head, and they haven't recovered, maybe never will." And ever since the pandemic, people's social skills have hit rock bottom. It's just not the same anymore. To add fuel to the fire, TikTok became a hit, intensifying the endless cycle of overstimulation. This put people further into isolation, getting people addicted to their phones. But not everyone thought COVID was bad. Many online communities started to form through Discord and other messaging apps. These communities helped people feel less alone during one of the most isolating periods in modern history. Many people found themselves connecting with family, hobbies, and even themselves. There was a weird peace during these times. I talked to my family more. I discovered myself in a way that I didn't and couldn't in my old routine. But there was a problem. Even though people were more connected online than ever before, they were completely disconnected from reality. Sherry Turkle, an American sociologist, highlights the importance of face-to-face conversations, arguing that it is this type of conversation where we learn to make eye contact, read tone, and respectfully challenge one another that empathy and intimacy develop. Even the presence of a phone can disrupt this process. Studies of conversation, both in the laboratory and in natural settings, show that when two people are talking, the mere presence of a phone on a table between them changes both what they talk about and the degree of connection they feel. And this shift isn't just about communication. It reflects a broader change in attention and social behavior.
We are lonely, but fearful of intimacy. Connectivity offers, for many of us, the illusion of companionship without the demands of friendship.
Research from the Journal of Adolescence reports that rates of high loneliness doubled in many parts of the world after 2012. Jonathan Haidt argues that this synchronized global increase in teenage loneliness suggests a global cause, and the timing is right for smartphones and social media to be major contributors.
As soon as they moved on to social media and the boys onto multiplayer video games, they got so lonely. Loneliness surged along with depression and anxiety.
This pattern is reflected in academic research, which identifies a bidirectional relationship between loneliness and problematic smartphone use. The studies suggest that each reinforces the other, creating an endless cycle for teenagers. What's even worse is how social media platforms are not designed for well-being, but for engagement, keeping users scrolling, reacting, and returning. A Canadian college student describes this shift firsthand. Often I'll arrive early to a lecture to find a room of 30+ students sitting together in complete silence, absorbed in their smartphones, afraid to speak and be heard by their peers. But if these trends continue, then what happens next? And is there any way to stop it? Fortunately, both Haidt and Turkle argue that while technology helped create this problem, can also be a part of the solution. Haidt proposes that healthier social development begins by giving more opportunities for real-world interactions and limiting child's dependency on smartphones. These include giving kids a long period each day when they are not distracted by their devices, this including teachers. Delaying entry into social media, ideally keeping them out of elementary and middle schools, along with implementing age and identity verification for all new accounts.
What I'm after here is not the optimum age, it's what's a minimum age that we could actually all do together, because that's the key. If most of us do this, we solve the problem.
Turkle's solutions are less about restrictions and more about rebuilding habits, arguing that reclaiming conversations is to reclaim solitude, increasing performance while decreasing stress. By becoming more comfortable with silence, we become more capable of meaningful face-to-face conversations. She also encourages redesigning technology to leave more room for talking with each other, such as the Do Not Disturb feature. Although their solutions differ, they come to the same conclusion, that technology should support human connection, not replace it. And so, that leads us to today. With the opportunities before us, will society rebuild the connection it has lost, or continue down the path of an ever-growing technological crisis?